7:45, our chance to talk about the housing numbers. The latest report just in. So Joannah Connolly, our expert when it comes to the topic from Glacier Media Real Estate, joining us, the editorial director. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me.
The month of May, a unique one when we look at the past 2 decades. What did we find?
Yeah, really interesting stats in May. So what we've found is that sales, which have been very, very soft in Metro Vancouver so far this year, they actually skyrocketed by 44.2% compared with April, which seems like, hey, this is a housing market recovery, a miracle. But in fact, May is always the busiest month of the year. And those numbers, about just over 2,600 sales, are still the lowest for 19 years and still way below the 10-year average for the month. So that leap is coming off a very low base. And then in terms of prices, we're still seeing those decline a little bit. They're down round about 9% overall for your composite all property types benchmark. So we're still seeing that there's a real lack of demand, and what that's doing is pushing up inventory, because there were about 5,600 new home listings last month compared with 2,600 sales. So you can see more and more choice coming in the market, and that's what's bringing those prices down.
And you've looked at these numbers month after month, and you've kind of touched on this here on the couch, but the driving factors that have led to this reality of seeing a May compared to the last 19 years, what are those again?
So certainly the real estate industry would suggest that it's things like not just the additional taxation that we've seen, whether that's the foreign buyers tax or the speculators tax, but also the mortgage stress test, which is making it a lot harder for people to qualify for a higher amount of money to purchase their home. So it's taking a lot of first-time buyers out of the market, or at least making them wait and see, and also making it harder for people to move up. So everyone's sort of shifted down in terms of what they're able to buy, and that's bringing sales and prices down.
Almost more of a waiting game on the market. Well, we have some examples of the higher end of real estate that exists here on the West Coast. What did we find, and what's been changing with these prices?
Yeah, I mean, the higher end, that luxury home market, sort of 10 million plus, it's a very different beast than really anything else. So I would say that some of these are anomalies, but we've got this particular architecturally iconic hexagonal home on the west side. It's been listed at 18.88 million back in fall 2017. It was relisted and relisted. It's now 15.9 million, so they just could kind of keep dropping it.
It's a steal.
It's a steal. It's an absolute bargain, Riaz.
Let's pool our dollars
so
together.
This is what we're seeing. That's just a very typical story of homes that get listed again and again at a lower price. And some luxury mansions we've actually seen selling for half of the original price that they were listed at, say back in 2016-17. They haven't sold, and now they're going sort of cut price.
Buyers have a bit more leverage. We have another example, luxury home. Take us through this one right here.
Yeah, so this is one of those half-price ones. It was originally listed for 16.8 million, and as you can see, it was sold for 8 million quite recently. So this is just, again, a great example of just that very high end. However, these are anomalies. This is not what's going on in the rest of the market. Houses going for half price, really just at the top end.
Well, your blog kind of wrote about what some of the forecasters are saying, reasons for optimism given the reality with the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I think optimism is probably a strong word, because we are going to see what Central One Credit Union described as marshmallow soft sales through the rest of the year, probably down about 14% in the Lower Mainland year over year. And then probably a slight recovery next year, which would take us back roughly to 2018 levels. And prices tend to lag by about a year. So we're probably going to not see an uptick in prices again until around 2021. So I would say probably next year is going to be a great time to get into the market, Riaz.
Really interesting. Well, listen, on our Facebook page, we'll put your blog information up. People can read, follow along, because you do all the analysis with the numbers that come in.
That's right.
Appreciate you coming by.
Thanks.
Joannah Connolly, once again, from Glacier Media Real Estate. We'll take a break.